have a Libra placement between 9 and 15 degrees in your natal chart, you are going to have gate 48 in human design, which is known as the gate of depth or the gate of the well in human design. Welcome to my video, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are new or not new here. My name is Brenna. I'm a human design reader, a mentor, and astrologer of 9.5 years teaching you how to break down all the nitty-gritty details of the placements of your human design body graph and the transits. Now, this video is going to be the last video where I'm including the weekly transits simultaneously with a deep dive on the gate placement. I'm going to start to make two separate videos for you guys just so it's easier for you to digest. That basically means that I'll have one video that is posted when we're going through that gate transit with the sun sign. So basically this week for the next 6 days, we have a gate 48 transit between 9 and 15 degrees. In addition to that, I'm going to post a weekly transit video. So for each day of the week, you're going to get the do's and the don'ts of what is good for you to follow, what you want to shy away from, just to prepare you for the energy ahead and to make sure that you are able to optimize your daily routine and your weekly schedule to the best of your ability. So let's get into a deep dive of gate 48 in human design. So gate 48 is a placement that sits in the spleen, which is all about our primal instincts and fears. And with this gate placement, if you have it in your human design body graph, you're going to see it plus a decimal number 1 through 6. I'm going to go through all of those in a little bit later on in this video. But basically with gate 48, it's teaching you how to apply the logic, how to be a critical thinker, and how to take your time to really observe your environment around you. You're somebody that wants to help perfect the world that we live in, and you're picking up on all the data, all the skills that you can get, as many as possible, to be able to fine tune what it is that you want to perfect, what it is that you want to make perfect, and how you want to work on helping human behavior for our sense of evolution. This can be evolving in astrology if that's of interest to you. This could be evolving in modern medicine. Whatever it is that your interests are, those are the things that you are actually going to help people to evolve in and help them to perfect, almost like a teacher. Now, part of the frustration with this placement, or during this week, October 1st to the 6th every year, you're going to feel a little bit of frustration where it feels like people are sleeping on you. Like it's taking time for people to be able to play catch up and understand that you have the skills to pay the bills. However, you really want to be focused on staying in your own lane, focused on your craft, refining, learning as much as you can, taking time to really spend time with whatever it is that you want to be known for, so that you can make sure that you are as educated as possible to be known as an expert, and then taking the time to figure out how you want to get recognition, where it is that you want to be known, how you want to be known, in what environments you want to be known in. Those are going to be important things for you to discern. Do you want to go out to your local coffee shops, your local metaphysical stores, your local town, local areas, in real life, IRL? Or do you want to be known online more? Maybe it's a combination of both, but this is a week to really be patient with refining one system so that you know that you can be available and consistent, and more importantly, reliable. So important for this placement. Now, there's a couple things that come up with any gates that sit in the spleen center, which are specifically fear-based gates. This gate placement is a fear of inadequacy. Am I doing it good enough? Am I saying it correctly? Am I doing a good enough job? Do I not know enough? Will people understand me? Can I explain myself clearly? Just know that those things are kind of floating around in the cosmos and the atmosphere, more specifically in your mind and in your aura at this time, or if you have this placement. You can be really hypersensitive to not being perfect because of this, and also don't allow other people a lot of slack when it comes to this placement. You can feel like where you're really frustrated when other people don't care about whatever it is that they're doing. That's okay. I always say you can let them be them away from you, or that's an opportunity for you to turn that into a teaching moment if your energy allows, if the energy of that person allows for them to be able to learn from you. Those areas of frustration or pivot points that you can be able to say, this is what my skill set is, and this is how I want to be the change that I wish to see in the world. It's not intentionally trying to annoy you, although I know, trust me, it feels that way. There are some people that are going to find you way too deep for them. You're going to be so obsessed with whatever it is that your subject is that they can't really listen to you, and that's okay. You just want to make sure that the people that know that you're educated in whatever it is that your shared knowledge is or shared common interests are, that you are knowledgeable enough to be able to give them a good solid foundation of advice, of education, and ways that help perfect their energy. But this also means that you're somebody who's very resourceful. You're using what you have, and that's such an important theme of this week, to really use what is available to us. So now that we've gotten the basic core definition of what gate 48 means in human design, I'm going to read from my OG projector. You guys always know that I read his little X excerpts Chetan Parkin about gate 48 in human design, which he calls the gate of the well. So there is a potentially great depth to you, and I'm not even sure you've plumbed the well to find out how deep you can go. Some people may even scoff at you for being too deep sometimes, but gate 48 explores such depths to find personal well-being and keep things fresh. It affords you great awareness and perspective and makes you highly resourceful. The founding feature of any civilization is a good supply of water, a well that is kept fresh to ensure health and security. People keep going to the well to sustain themselves, so it is with gate 48. People come to you to draw your knowledge from you because you have so much knowledge of life and tap into your resourcefulness. I suspect that's probably why you are someone who fiercely guards the well within, guarding your knowledge and protecting how much you know, protecting your resources. The quality of your existence, what you share with others, and who you allow to explore these depths with you is directly proportional to the depth at which you're prepared to live your life. You may well wish to live on the surface and keep all relations at that level. If you do, just ensure you keep everything fresh and renewed. But the deeper you choose to go, the closer you get to your source of fulfillment. Whatever you engage with, refreshing your interests and knowledge will bring continued expansion. For example, knowing how to play the piano is not enough. You have to keep practicing to expand your repertoire. Bear in mind that it's also in the depths that fear can arise, the fear of being caught out of your depth, not knowing enough, I mentioned earlier, because you don't know your subject well enough. And this can play out as paralysis, analysis paralysis, or stage fright at the key moment. This is the time to trust your authority. If people and projects seem tasteful to you, allowing them to share your depths will be refreshing as splashing yourself with cold water from your well. This is so important because I've also been feeling myself like that craving of intellect, of more intellectual conversations, more intellectual stimuli, which is why I started to pour a lot into this channel this year and really being able to activate my YouTube channel where we can have more in-depth conversations that just feel a little bit more cerebrally expansive. Also, finding places that I can learn from other people, fellow colleagues that are within this industry of metaphysics, super helpful. So I also encourage you to do that too. At this moment, I'm going to pivot so that we can go to the notes, the detriments, and the exaltations of gate 48 and each of the respective profile lines. So if you have gate 48.1 or gate 48.6 and anywhere in between, we're going to talk about that. This is also going to apply for each of the days of the week, starting with October 2nd. 48.1 on the 2nd, 48.2 on the 3rd, so on and so forth until we get to gate 48 in the 6th line. So my little note that I wrote here, if you have gate 48 and something you want to pay attention to on the first day of this transit is you see what deserves your attention and what doesn't. If you are using this in its detrimented aspect, you're hyper-focused on things that are trivial and that distract you. This is where we can see those Libran qualities of having a lot of anxiety and being a little bit nervous and noticing who are the people that are acting like that. It's not just about us, but also who are people that are more prone to the exaltation or the detriment in real life in our environments around us. In the second line, gate 48, in the second line, the line of the hermit, you're not somebody who's going to entertain the things that are beneath you, and you're not somebody that's going to ignore what's going right to focus on what's going wrong. You are aware that life is about balance, and you are creating that balance by focusing on the good in hand with the bad at the same time, but none is going to be rewarded more highly than the other. This is also a day to also lean more into the good, where you're focusing on what is actually going right. Now, in the detrimented aspect, this is where we see a lack of critical thinking, like spending money you don't have. It's like, and I'm not saying like, $3, $4 on something to treat yourself if you just need that mental break to luxuriate. That's totally fine, that energetic break. But it's like, are you going to go and put $1,000 handbag on a credit card when you're also worried about paying rent? Those are not the things that we want to focus on. This is such a time for so many different reasons to focus on being very resourceful and to choose your intention of how you're spending your energy, your time, your money very wisely right now. Gate 48 in the 3rd line, this is going to be on October 3rd, our sun placement. Good things like taste take time. You are somebody who's not worried about having things faster. This is where we're really leaning into delayed gratification. I think if you guys are familiar with the Nancy Meyers aesthetic, she was the one who did the decor for The Parent Trap. I believe she was also the director of that movie. Not to diminish her impact, but you can see that all of the scenes and the settings of her home look very lived in. One of my favorite movies is The Holiday, The Devil Wears Prada as well, like those kinds of scenes that you see where things look lived in. It looks like people live there. It's not about things looking super antiseptic, but that doesn't come from ordering things in bulk from Amazon or rushing to go to Target to fill your home with tchotchkes that don't really have like patina and love and they weren't intentional. You can sense that energetic difference when somebody's just rushing to do something to get there really fast fast and not from a nervous system regulated place. So paying attention to that. Basically the opposite of this, right? Anchoring in and flexing the muscle of anxiety, always worrying about the future. So where are you allowing yourself to be super anxious, super thrown off by things, and basically like leaning into always operating from a place of anxiety and letting that motivate you, which isn't always a good thing. You want to make sure that you're taking action from a grounded place rather than like, I have to be free of pressure, I have to get these things done, which is what can happen, especially for people who have an undefined root center. I know because I've personally been there too. So just calling myself out, I lived that life in my 20s, evolving past that in this 30s, decade of my life. On the next day, the 5th or October, or gate 48 in the 4th line, I wrote, in this exaltation or on a good day, you allow for pauses and stalls to be seen as moments to rest and reasonings for why your next step is going to be you're going to be more confident in your next step and your long-term vision. So anytime, let's say like your phone breaks or your phone dies just as you're about to film a video, this is an opportunity while your phone is charging to go back into your notes and see if there's anything that you left off. Kind of like the burnt toast theory, if you guys have heard that, or if say like you had a flat tire, maybe it saved you from a pile up that happened in a bunch of traffic or an accident on your way to work. This is a day that we're focusing on the backstops, or I should say, a burp of affirmation or hiccup of affirmation. The roadblocks for being prevention from something worse happening. It's saving you, even though it was seen as inconvenient. We really need to be leaning in and not forgetting that right now. It's very easy for us to forget that because we've been compounded with a lot of different things in our energy, in our cosmos right now. But just to remember that. Also, in the detrimented aspect, it's remembering that nothing lasts forever, which is, instead of being like, wow, nothing lasts forever, even pain, sadness, etc., it's like nothing lasts forever, so why would I even try? I'm just going to be unhinged and create more chaos in the world. You can do with that what you wish, but know that if anyone's creating more chaos, you could be you away from me. So just paying attention to that today too. Moving on to gate 48 in the 5th line, you're somebody who's basically naturally action oriented. Also for this placement, right, you're going to be somebody who just wants to make sure that you're getting things done. Your actions speak louder than words. You're like, words are great, that's fine, but actually I want to be action driven. I'm not actually interested in what you tell me that you're going to do. I'm interested in what you're actually doing. This is a great placement for people who want to capitalize on their motivation, but also for this day, for this transit, focusing on the fact that like, okay, if you felt a little bit like taking your time earlier in the week or even the day before something stalled you, that can be a day where you can pivot and say, you know what, the arrow came back a little bit so I can launch forward on this day. Basically, the opposite of that is true. I put uses details, perfectionism, reviewing as an excuse not to act. Oh my God, but we can't do it until we have the perfect lighting, or I have to have all my candles on my candelabra lit for you guys to watch this video. Those are nitpicky things that stall us and our energy leaks that let our energy hemorrhage elsewhere. Not going to be very helpful. Again, reminding yourself to be resourceful and use what you have. I also wrote the little asterisk, and I say this a lot to generators and manifesting generators that are in Patreon. You need to give yourself data to respond to. You need to put something out there to flex the muscle of building the habit, and then see how can you refine over time. That's just another part of the piece of the pie, the puzzle here. And then on the last day, or the last aspect or potential placement that you may have, gate 48 in the 6th line, you're being a talented person, and you're somebody that's aware of a healthy balance of what you receive in return. So being somebody that has talent, that says, okay, I'm a singer, I'm going to go perform, but I've done a lot of things for free. Maybe I go to sing to children in the hospital setting. I have a friend that's a singer that does that. And then like that is good reciprocity for you. Maybe that doesn't have to be a paid gig because you're bringing joy, and that is what works for you. If you're going to go play in Madison Square Garden or perform at Madison Square Garden, you know that built into that ecosystem is a multi-million-dollar company business that has the money to pay you, where you're not necessarily just doing things for exposure. Paying attention to that today. Because that's also going to help restore your energy, not let you burn out. On the detrimented aspect, it's giving without really caring about what you're giving. There's no depth, there's no thought, there's no consideration. I wrote down here, it's like a grandmother who keeps giving you Bratz dolls to collect, even though she knows and has known forever that you're a Barbie girl through and through. Also, like if you have maybe like your mom loves owls or got a lot of tchotchkes like owls and things like that. but you don't like owls. Maybe you had a bad experience with a bird. I don't know. And you're like, this is just not my thing. This isn't my style. It's like a blatant lack of consideration, being inconsiderate to what it is that you actually like. And then people just giving you more shit to move around. A lot of people do that, even somewhat intentionally, some unintentionally, because it's a form of control and manipulation. So just paying attention to that. For this week, you can kind of focus on and call out that energy in yourself, in other people, in the cosmos, to prepare each of the days of the week, or if you have these placements, to just know what's obvious in your energy more specifically, and just be able to integrate it in a way that makes more sense. So thank you guys for being here in this Gate 48 deep dive. If you want to know more about the transits, what's going to be coming up for the week ahead, make sure to subscribe for my channel to see the weekly transit video that will be coming out on the 6th, so that we can have the Monday to Sunday transit to prepare you for the week ahead, so that you are in the know about what to expect to do and what not to do using the transits to your benefit. It's not something I'm going to clobber you over the head with a lot of jargon or dense information, but just something that you can look at and say, okay, this is how I'm going to plan my week ahead by looking at the weekly transit. So thank you guys again so much for being here and supporting me and supporting you. I always appreciate every like, comment, and subscription. It means so much to me. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next one.